Like,
we are live.
so how do we know if this is really working? Can I go onto my YouTube on my phone and see if this is really working?
Yeah, and Alexi should be telling us too.
I'm gonna try it right now.
I'm just sitting
Real quick.
smiling.
If it is, hi guys.
Hi everybody.
Oh, Detour Essentials live. It's me. Okay, it works. Okay. Yay! So, Kat, let me ask you a question. Since this is your thing, right? Does it record as well? Is this recording so that we will like see on our YouTube page after?
Embarrass me in front of people. I don't know the answer to that question.
So why you didn't ask me that?
Russia. You know why I didn't ask you that question.
Guys, this is our first COVID
video.
Yeah, this is our video. Oh, it's okay. So I was telling you guys earlier that I left the house today and I went to Burger King drive-thru in Ligani. You remember when Burger King did just open in Ocheros? Kat, you would know because you're 7.
Right.
Yeah. But you may have heard from other people.
But that means I would have only been 8, Rochelle. Don't put me in your boat, okay? That means I would have just been 8.
Well, the people who know when Burger King did just open in Jamaica, and there was one branch down in Ochi. And when you get the Whopper down there, you feel good, you feel good. And today I was so happy. I hope Jason Barber is not on this live, but I ordered a Whopper with bacon and cheese. And then when I looked, the Hershey's pie opened its eyes and it went, Misa! So I took home the Hershey pie. But you know what was amazing when I was there? I saw the ladies hard at work in there. And it was just a reminder that for our little outings, there are people who are actually constantly at work. But you know what it was like? The lady who took the order was so happy to take it, and the young lady who handed me, maybe my face was like, I was so excited, and she was just so absolutely lovely. And today was actually one of the days that I suppose with just watching the numbers increase, I had to un-COVID today. And I had some amazing conversations. Kat, I spoke with planning with Jay today. And she does these amazing planners. Yeah. Most of it was a WhatsApp conversation, but her service was so amazing. And the kinds of questions she asked me and so on, it was just such a lovely experience. And it's just a reminder that with everything that's going on, there's still so much to celebrate. And small businesses, let's keep on supporting them because they are the lifeblood. So let's keep on supporting each other, supporting our businesses wherever we can. Now, I think it's time that we big up our health workers. Over to you.
For sure. I don't know if Thea is watching, but we have a colleague, Thea Davis, and I was talking to her today, and she's a health professional, and she was just saying that this is her new normal. And it's difficult, right? Because she has a young child and she has a mom that has underlying health issues. So she's even afraid to interact with her family after a day at work because of what she could possibly be exposed to.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
They have to be super grateful.
Yeah,
for those that are on the front line working on our behalf.
Yeah. And while we're complaining about, being isolated, being trapped, and feeling like you're under quarantine, like there are people who have to get up every day. Big up Melanie Henry.
Yes.
Who is still up very early every morning and off to work, taking care of people far and wide. And it's just sometimes those stark reminders that while we are complaining, somebody else is out there working on our behalf.
Yes.
So let's kind of get over ourselves a little bit. And today just look at how we improve our mindset in celebration of those who are out there working hard for us. And just that this time gives us an opportunity to reflect. And sometimes when it gets too much, just on COVID, just shut it all down. Today, I shut down my WhatsApp. I shut down every notification and I walked on the grass barefooted and just sat down in the middle of it all. And I thought to myself, with it, all of this, I get to live in Jamaica where the sun nice. I always plan to go to the beach.
And you can actually go outside.
And yes, and I said, look at it here, because I always think, I'm going to just go beach anytime I'm ready to go beach. But now I'm under curfew. So I'll be going to the beach a lot. So there's a lot of things that I say, you know, that you did plan to do these things and you never did them. And you say, no, you have an opportunity where you stop and say, I could have. And when I can again, I'll appreciate it a whole different way.
Yeah, for sure.
Did anybody play polo today? Make I tell you though, Emily, aka Naomi, make one muffin there. One muffin with chocolate chip, pecan, all kind of can in there. It's nice. I sat down and I put on a solid 6 pounds. I eat Naomi muffin them. You know when you eat something and it's nice until you lock your eye tight, squeeze up eye. It was beautiful. I have not stopped talking about food. But let me tell you,
you're doing this.
Invite Naomi to any function you're having and say, Nai, when you come in, don't bring wine, bring some of them muffin there.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Well, you know what's on the vision board, right? So maybe these things will help.
I can't cook. Think of their pretty looks.
I think we also need to stop and take the time to pick up all the entrepreneurs and all of corporate Jamaica that has stepped up, that have really been giving. I mean, this is the first in a long time that I've seen corporate Jamaica give so much and nobody even knows, because really for the people. I mean, the supermarkets, everybody is stepping up. Today, I was watching Smile Jamaica this morning, and Lauren from Blue Dot and a gentleman who I cannot remember his name right now, they have created ventilators. And because, of course, you know, there's a shortage everywhere in the world. And so being proactive and trying to figure out what they can do to help alleviate that problem. And so it's not finished yet. It's still a work in progress, but he's hoping for it to be completely done by next week. And I will tell you that a lot of corporate Jamaica, I mean, they're using 3D printers to make masks, shields for the doctors, and the ventilators, or parts of the ventilators. And I called one of my friends that I know has a 3D printer, and he's like, absolutely, I'll help. And so he already started printing masks for them today. So we really
awesome.
Everybody that is stepping up, and you know, we realize that it is not about self, it's about everybody else. It's about our country and the well-being of our country for the most part.
And you know what, Kat, I think in addition to what you just said, it's a great opportunity for everybody to step up. This is really a great opportunity for you to see what kind of value in your own space, no matter what you do, that you can be bringing to others that need your help right now. So I think that is one of the things that we really should be thinking about during this time is how can, as an individual, contribute to others that are feeling scared, feeling anxious, don't know what to do. And that's why, you know, we're really excited with our guests that we have that will be joining us shortly, because we're all at this place where a lot of us really don't know what to do. But so many of us have so many great talents and skills that we could be sharing with the world right now while everyone is at home trying to figure out the next step.
Kevin, I think you should send us some ice cream. It's so yummy. We have lots of comments coming in, and I think I'm not the one that can see them, right? So
I can see them too. I have my YouTube up on my phone. It's on silent.
So without further
What
ado,
does it mean?
we have a very special guest with us this evening. And when we were thinking about what are some of the different areas that we need to focus on to help people get through this time, one of the first things that came to all of our minds is the need to to manage our mental well-being. So a lot of us find that we're very anxious at this time. A lot of us are afraid of many different things, right? I mean, everything from who is being exposed to our ability to expose the people that we love, to some people losing their jobs, to people working from home, to people being able to cope with it, to Rochelle, was that you? To people being able to cope at home with their employees and their co-workers having constant access to them. I mean, we have girlfriends that have been complaining about the fact that people don't even have online meeting etiquette and what that looks like, you know. So managing our mental space is so important during a time. And so we thought we'd bring somebody that's an expert in that area to share her wisdom. I mean, now this is a lady that is very special to all of us in the Emerge family, because she sends us nuggets every day that we're like
words of wisdom when we need it the most.
Everything from webinars to TED Talks to YouTube videos to books to quotes. I mean, and we just suck it all in. And we've been hiding her for a while and keeping her to ourselves, but we figured it's time to share her, right?
Yes.
So her name is...
Anybody who needs Naomi to advertise any drink that they have, Naomi, show them how you drink out of a straw. Of course, you're so distracting.
So her name is Andrea Hughsam, and she is a life coach and a psychologist. So she actually knows what she's doing and what she's talking about, right? And she has impacted all of us in such a major way. And so thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. I feel like we're in the same room together.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And let me just preempt this and say I am not an expert. I don't know, in fact, anybody who is an expert in anything, because life changes so rapidly for us. We can say we are works in progress.
Always.
And to be honest, in a lot of ways, we're all experts, because it does take a village, which is definitely something that this COVID-19 is proving to all of us. You know, because this thing, it's like standing up and somebody just threw cold water at you. And suddenly you realize that, you know, I never used to like when Naomi drop in all the time, but boy, if she could have dropped in and visit me more, no, would have welcome her. You know, it's, you know, boy, I haven't seen Rochelle in a while, but if Rochelle was to hug me now, it would just feel so great.
Because you know, I'm a hugger. I miss
her. These are the little things that we miss now. You know, this whole situation is forcing us to look at the things that are special about the people in our lives. You know, and to realize how critically important relationships are. Because now we can't relate the same way we used to. You know, and then again, some people are relating more than they're used to relating, because now you're home with spouses and other halves and children and everybody, and it's like, my God, all this time I was complaining about the school. I actually love those teachers, and I'm never going to say anything about them again ever.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I think we've already started to do teachers appreciation.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot to deal with.
I'm sure you get a raise.
Because now, before my day starts, I need to make sure that my son's school day is sorted out before he wakes up, or then my day is just going to go to, you know what.
These wonderful children that we have, usually when we only have them for a few hours, they're amazing. So imagine when that poor teacher has 40 of them in a classroom for so many hours out of the day.
God bless their hearts.
I know. You know, it just, I'm telling you, this whole set of circumstances has highlighted so many things. The thing is, though, I'm not sure how many people are focusing on that, which would help to relieve some of the anxiety, to be honest with you. If they would focus on, what's changed in the last 2 weeks for me. What do I miss? What are the things when I'm back to normal, or what we call normal? What will I focus on? You
Mm-hmm.
know, Instead of texting Naomi, will I call her to hear her voice? You know, or maybe just drive by or say to her, "Hey, let's go have lunch." And for no reason more than just let's go sit down and have lunch,
Yeah.
or as Rush says, let's go sit down out in the garden and just talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's I find this time really amazing. I don't know about anybody else. My work, I'm still working. I don't think I would call myself a critical worker, but we distribute Chinese grocery and general merchandise island wide. So that's my 8 to 4 job. So we're still supplying supermarkets and restaurants and pharmacies with whatever it is that they want. Um, and then in the evening, I'm interacting with clients who have issues, you know. But
So
what I
what
say,
are you finding now, though, that people are dealing with? Because when you started out, and it was such a perfect way of putting it that it just felt like you were going along, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, cold water was just thrown on you. It wet you up, it confused you, and but do you stay wet in the cold water, or do you see it as an opportunity to take off those wet clothes, dry off, and reset yourself? Because people are going through a lot of anxiety. What kind of anxiety do you see people going through, and how do you talk them through actually moving past the anxiety into the appreciation?
um, I think people are having disturbances in their sleep, so they're not sleeping as well as they used to. I think we are for the first time realizing that there are night noises, like crickets, animals, insects that make noise during the night, because when the place is quiet, there is a cacophony of sounds that you're not
Yeah,
normally
because
aware of.
we're not playing a loud music.
There's no loud music. A lot of people have, I mean, their lights aren't on at night, so the place is just really quiet and it's dark. And
Mhm.
actually, you should be able to sleep better in the silence and the darkness, because that's what our circadian rhythm is actually used to. But because we're so dysregulated with the regular noise and sounds and everything, this silence can be very disquieting to persons.
Yes.
They're actually hearing things, they're hearing their neighbors. You can hear things now and you're aware of things that you weren't aware of before.
Mm-hmm.
Persons they have sleep disturbances. They're also anxious because of the amount of social media and just media in general that they're accessing.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm perfectly honest with you. The reason why most people weren't aware of what was happening is because we are so distracted. We are so distracted by things that are not important. So that what happens is, it's like when, I don't know if you guys remember, because you're all so young, because you're all 7, 8, and 9 years old,
Yes.
and I'm 15. In when we had that big hurricane, I think it was in 1988.
Gilbert.
Yeah. His
Right,
name Gilbert.
I was
right.
I was
Gilbert.
I remember that
People
one.
were at the beach.
Yeah.
People
What?
didn't know
They
because
didn't know. Yeah.
no, they didn't know. They were taken by surprise because people don't pay attention to the things that are said on the news. They listen, they hear it, but they don't think beyond that. So
Yes.
from last year, we've been monitoring this whole COVID thing. But people were thinking, oh, it won't ever come here, it won't affect us. Why? We live in a world now where, unlike before, you jump on a plane and in a couple of hours you're in another country or in another culture.
yeah.
We're exposed to what's happening in each other's countries by YouTube, WhatsApp video, Facebook. So the truth is, we're not as diverse in cultures anymore in terms of our exposure to media,
Mhm.
but we just don't pay attention in the way we should. We don't have conversations about those things. It's more, oh, Megan and Harry going to move to Canada, and it's bullshit. You know what I mean? No, seriously. We pay attention to bullshit.
Yeah.
And
But and I
studio
think that's
becomes
what's
more
kind of hard
important.
about now that all of a sudden, like sometimes if you, I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes you go to one of those lovely resorts that very rustic and so, and they have a lot of lizard and cricket, and they don't have any TV. So when you're on your way there, you thought to yourself, this is just going to be so sexy and exotic. But then you get there and you're like, wow, it's quiet though.
What do we do now?
And then there's like your body has to go through this kind of motion, like, hey, like it's like your brain is going so quickly. But then when you look at what is processing in your head, a lot of it is non-essential items. So we are busy being busy, and with what? So all of a sudden, no, you have to stop and you start noticing little things in your house because we realize you hadn't been spending any time in your house. The little things that you start noticing when your brain slows down, and things that we thought we had to do every day and where we had to go, and all of a sudden it's just taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we left with? We're left with and those when I run, Andrea knows me as a runner. When I run, I always run with music because I always say, Catherine, go away. I always say I don't like to be left too long with my mind because it talk too loud.
Mm-hmm.
Like you almost have to now slow down your own head. Like Megan and Harry, they're my best friends, but their lives have nothing to do with me. Whether they live in the UK or Canada, it's of no moment to my life. So all of a sudden, you have to start thinking about your own life and what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah, you do.
And as you said, the mind is getting super loud right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And literally like
we're not
almost
used
like
to being
forcing you
alone.
into action, because if you don't do the stuff, your brain just keeps going. But at least mine does. It just doesn't turn off until I do the thing.
And the truth is, with anxiety is it's a focus on the future. It's future focus, and it's a feeling of a lack of control. And right now, most persons are feeling as though they have absolutely no control. It's kind of like if you decided you were going to buy an Audi, and you're trying to decide what color you wanted. You've been driving for months, years on the road, and there are Audis there, and you never noticed. But the minute you become interested in that car, you see every single Audi that goes on the road, and that's what's happening to us now with COVID. So before, everybody was fine. We're around. I mean, Jamaica is a party country. There's a party every day, every week, every month, right? Non-stop.
Yep.
And now suddenly there's none of that. So before we were so outwardly focused and we had control. But now all of a sudden you don't have control. Another example would be like your car works beautifully. Every morning you go there, you turn the key, it works. You see, any morning you go there and turn the key and it don't work, it's as though your whole life is upside down. Things that you never noticed before is suddenly right there in your face. It's like, my God, what am I gonna do? I have to do this, I have to do that. You have lost control. And that is what anxiety is. That feeling that you cannot control anything. To
So
get
sorry, Andrea, so Keisha is asking,
Yeah.
what do you do when that feeling of anxiety happens? What can you do?
For me, and my advice would be, the best thing would be to just stop and focus on what you can control. So, for example, with what's happening now, what do I have control over? I have control over, for those of us who are at home and not working, still set yourself a routine. I'm going to get up in the mornings. Can I walk around the yard? Can I do some exercise in the house? You find an exercise video, you do some exercise. Or if you have kids and you have to interact with the kids, maybe this is the perfect time now for you to actually break breakfast. You can have breakfast with your kids. You can actually interact with your kids in a different way. You know what I mean? It's not just the kid isn't being raised by the helper now. It's actually you, and it might be this a perfect opportunity for you and husband or partner to interact in a different way, and the thing is, routine is what makes us comfortable. We get up in the morning, we know we have to get up by X time. If you're going to the gym before, if you're going to work, if you have to get the kid ready, you have to drop to school, all of this. It's routines that make us comfortable. So you need to create a new routine for this time, because that will give you that feeling of control, which
So,
is
so
what we
Jan,
want now.
Dwyer was saying that she is just trying to be more intentional every day about what needs to be done and actually getting it done.
Hmm.
But I think setting intentions for the day help a lot as well.
Yeah, the same thing as
Yeah.
routines. We can say intentions. And what are those things that you've always wanted to do that you never had the time to do?
Yes.
Where are all those books
Actually
that you
said,
wanted to read that you've never had the time to read, or documentaries you might have wanted
to watch
to
if you
watch
only had time.
if you only had time, or maybe you would do a course on YouTube or Coursera or something, you
Yeah.
know? You can be doing something in the house and you can load an audiobook. So you can actually be, doing something while you're doing something else and you're achieving more.
Yeah.
Maybe you wanted to do meditation and you never had the time to do, because every morning as your eyes wake up, you're rushing somewhere. And now for the
Hmm.
first time, you can actually wake up and
Mhm.
lie in your bed. So you could actually turn on that meditation and lie there and just listen and relax.
No,
And
that meditation
Oprah,
one with
Oprah
me.
and Deepak Chopra just launched a new 21-day free meditation
Oh yeah.
program. I literally just signed up for it, so I listened to the first
Yeah.
one today.
Yeah, because the meditation for me, I always found when I was meditating, so I had different apps and I had different, to slow my mind down and how I centered and all kind of things. And I would find that when I'm meditating, I'm just like, what a long 5 minutes. Like Jesus said, "Wheel, I can't do this no longer." And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, focus, Rochelle, deep breathing. And I'm like, I wonder if I breathe too deep, if I'll choke and die. And then all of a sudden, no, that I have had to slow down. I'm like, this, I could slow down. Like my brain just needs to slow down. In
You
fact,
know,
a friend of mine was talking about being a mother. And she said that she always used to watch like people on Instagram, what she called those moms that were like flittering like butterflies. Poop, do some homework. Poop, here's the breakfast. We love to love. And she's like, I always wanted to be a mom like that. And she's like, no, that I have time. She's like, I just want to go to work. But she said, coming out of it though, she's hearing her children's voices in a different way because she's actually listening to them. And she says the things that you miss and the nuances in their voices, the things that excite them and the things that start throwing them off at different ages. She's like, wow, I was missing so much because I was busy watching Butterfly Moms. Boop, here's the breakfast. Boop. So she's like, so no, I will not make pancakes, but I buy it in a box and I warm it and I serve it nicely on a plate because I'm that kind of mom. So it's also time to just accept like who you are and be kind of cool with it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Keisha was asking, what if you don't have any children and you live alone? It's the same thing though. I mean, it's about creating a routine and really looking
Yeah.
at things that you wanted to accomplish that you haven't got that chance to accomplish yet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's time to really reflect on where you are, what it is that you want to do, what are the areas in your life that you want to grow and develop. Because, it goes back to something that somebody else said earlier about being intentional. Now is the time that we get a chance to really reflect on the different areas of our lives and where the gaps are, or what are the things that we either need to redirect, what are the things that maybe we don't need to be doing anymore, and what are the areas that we really need to be intentional about putting some work into, you know?
What
And
Um,
where are some of the opportunities?
yeah,
Yeah.
So believe it, there are a lot of opportunities right now.
A
if
lot.
you're willing to look for them and put in the
Yeah.
work.
Exactly.
And the thing is, get a notebook and write them down.
Yes.
Write them down, because they're random thoughts that just run through your head. Just write it down. And you'd be amazed. Maybe in a week's time, you come back and you look at it, and then you can ponder it and say, I could really do this, or I could really do that, or let me call Naomi and see what you think about this, or, and you could really get something going.
Yeah.
So you know what? For the start of this year, I had written in my book, because I'm one of those. I have lots of journals where I write lots of things. Do I do all the things? No. But I had written at the start of this year that I was going to be more active online, and I was going to reach out more to our local newspapers and share content. And I had them a list of the different articles I was going to write. I didn't write one article. And then COVID-19 happened, and I was just like, look how you're going to write this article about building your online brand. And I decided to just sit. I woke up literally one morning, 5:45, and I just wrote the article and submitted it to the Observer, and it got placed. And so it's about like looking back through those books, those journals that you write down all these things, and now actually taking action on those things that you said you wanted to do. But as you said, we never had the time to do it. Now we have plenty time.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people still waste the time, not do anything, So,
I love watching Netflix, but it can't just be Netflix and chill.
No.
So there's Netflix time, but there's also time to like literally sit down and get stuff done.
Yeah.
The thing though that I think sometimes people struggle with a bit is that too much time thinking, because they're not quite certain of, am I thinking along the right line, or they feel like they don't have somebody to even share those and bounce some of those thoughts. Is this a crazy thought? Am I thinking too wide? Am I thinking too small? Keisha actually just asked whether Andrea can walk us through a quick mindfulness exercise that she thinks would be helpful, or recommend a site or app that has such exercises. Because I think it would help for people to understand, how do I, this intentional, because we use words like mindfulness and mindset and intentional, where you feel you are actually struggling with being intentional and you're not sure if you're even being intentional. Andrea, can you just help us a little bit with just kind of talking about how do you center for setting intentional and being this intentional way? Are we using these big words, but what does it really mean?
Yeah.
For me, I think people are confused when they think about meditation and slowing down their minds. People are trying to, what you call, quiet your mind. It's not possible to quiet your mind. Meditation is, you're not holding on to a thought. It's like when you're sitting down quietly, lots of thoughts will flit through your head. It's not chasing the thought. So say for example, I feel like getting in my car and going and buying a Big Mac. But that thought just runs through your head. And you allow it to go, and another thought will come. It literally is like watching the thoughts walking through your mind and not following it. Following it is, yes, I feel like that Big Mac, and I could have a milkshake, and I could have some fries with it. Oh, but Jason might kill me if he finds out I had that.
I confess.
And yeah,
and that wasn't mindful.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like okay, I could go and bake a cake, but then if I bake the cake, I'm gonna have the whole cake, and if I have the whole cake, then I might have to drink some diet tea, because the diet tea will just wash it out. This is it. This is how you know what I mean. Or you have a thought of boy, I went out last night and I wore that dress and I don't like how it looked. I didn't like how it looked, or somebody said something to me, or somebody looked at me, and then you just keep on following that thought. You're chasing it and chasing it, and before you know, you've had the same thought out 15, 20 times. It happens to me too, and I have to say to myself, Jesus Christ, I'm tired of you today. No, stop it. You know what I mean? Enough. And I have to just switch. So every time, what I do is, Mel Robbins has this 5-minute rule. It's on It's on TED Talk. I love that
Yeah,
5 minutes,
love it
five
too. Yeah.
second thing.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
And
And
there's
what
actually
I
a
do
book
is,
for it too. It's excellent.
yeah. So what I do is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 switch. And I keep switching and switching until my mind goes on the track that I want it to go on. And
Mm.
when we talk about meditation and getting yourself to slow down, you actually have to find something that resonates with you. For me, I use a lot of frequency music. I don't know if it will resonate with other people. So there is frequency music on YouTube for to raise your serotonin levels. Okay. So once you go on YouTube and you key in frequency music, there's lots of music. Flutes, there is water sounds, there is Asian type things, there is Indian type things. They're like every single culture has different types of frequency music. Okay,
Mm.
that you can access. I used to use it when I was at university because it used to help me to focus my mind when I was studying. So that's actually how I got turned on to it. So you can use it like if you're trying to read a book. What it does is it stops what we call subvocalization because it's not music with words, it's just sound.
Mm.
The subvocalization is that voice that goes on in your head constantly. When you're watching TV or you're reading a book and you're really engrossed, people could come in the room and you don't see them and they're doing things and you don't notice it because you're very focused. But when you're reading a book or you're trying to meditate, what happens is your mind is paying attention to the voices in your head. When you listen to the frequency music, it stops that sub vocalization if you start focusing on the sound of the music. And that's why even when you're reading, it's nice to have it in the background. So what happens is you're not actually reading, this is a beautiful day. Because the truth is, you don't need to be saying the words in your head to
Mhm.
understand the words on the page. There's this guy, I think his name is Jim Quick. He teaches people how to read quickly,
Mhm.
and and he has these many different techniques as to how to stop the subvocalization in your head so that you can actually not chase the thoughts. So, the thoughts are still going to come. It's virtually impossible to quiet your mind. It really is. So that's why a lot of times your mind really runs you. You don't run yourself. You think you do, but you're actually running a program. Every single day you run that program. It is the interruption of that program that causes change in your life. And that is intentional. And the intention comes, the change comes when you set that intention and you actually carry out the action. So it's not important for you to just think about it. Okay, every day I'm gonna sit down for a half an hour. It doesn't matter what I do, whether it is I'm gonna focus on this or not, I'm just gonna keep doing it until I've created a new habit. It is a habit that you're trying to create. And in order to create that habit, you have to break a habit that you have already. So what happens is a lot of people, we think about things, but we don't set an intention and we don't carry out the intention.
Yeah.
So you see, just like how Naomi says she just got out of bed and sat down and wrote it, that's like a 5 second thing with Mel Robbins. You get up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm writing this. You sit down, you do it.
Mhm.
And that's the thing, to think about it and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move your ass right then and there. Don't hitch. Just get up and do it. So but
Mm.
when it comes to meditations, I can always look it up and give you guys. John Kabat-Zinn is very good. Sadhguru is very good.
Yeah, Sadhguru is actually very good.
Yeah, there is Deepak Chopra actually has a 45-minute meditation that I listen to most mornings when I'm quiet, when I'm trying just to relax.
Mm.
There is also an app that
He
I use.
Deepak has quite a number of meditations. Some are short, some
Yeah,
are long.
Yeah.
there's
You
a
know,
very
Yeah,
good
because I'm doing an abundance one with him that he has right now.
yeah.
yeah.
It's really
And
good.
there's another
And
app called Abide, where for so I usually meditate with scripture. So it has different like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, etc. But meditation through a particular scripture. So for those who require a scriptural reference for their meditation, Abide
That's
is
also good. Yeah.
What's the name of that one, Marcel?
Excellent one is
Abide.
A Course in Miracles.
Yes,
A
that's the
Course
one
in
that
Miracles is
Marianne
actually
Williamson.
excellent. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Marianne Williamson
Marion
actually
Williams. Yeah.
has wrote what is it called again? I have the book inside. I'll go and get the book shortly. But it's actually one of my favorite books. There's the quote that's in it that what our deepest fear is how powerful and great we actually are. That quote is from the book that she wrote, which kind of breaks down A Course in Miracles. So, of course, because A Course in Miracles is a pretty technical book, but if you start with her book and then read through, it is actually quite phenomenal.
You see, the Course in Miracles, the very first lesson is so profound, you could spend weeks on that verse. The very first verse, that nothing in this room, on this street, in this place means anything. If you were just to meditate on that alone, it will take you weeks to get through that, because you then realize that every single thing in your life, you attach a meaning to it. If you don't assign a meaning and say this is important, you don't pay attention to it. And that's why now, when we're not doing anything and we're just home, we're noticing all these things that have always been in our house, that have always been around us. We're listening to things our kids say. The kids have always been talking and trying to get
I have that book.
A Return to Love.
A Return to Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that. I haven't read it yet.
The audiobook is actually really good too. But this is a book that I would highly recommend. For the life of me, I could not find it for quite some time. And because I have slowed down my mind, I was able to find it recently. And so it talks about things like, it talks about surrender, about miracles, relationships, heaven, all kinds of things. And so what she does is that she breaks down the lessons in A Course in Miracles. So when you read through it and then you read through A Course, because A Course in Miracles, you have to take it in bite-sized pieces. But this particular book is highly, highly recommended, A Return to Love.
Yeah.
Who's the author?
Marianne Williamson. Some of you may remember her because she was running for the Democratic Party recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think so for me, one of the things that I do that helps me to be mindful is the same thing, is really writing things down. Thinking about, really taking the time to reflect and think about the things that we need to get done. I mean, a lot of us, I think, overthink what mindfulness is. And it's really taking the time to stop and just focus your energy on your thinking. It's really taking the time to look at the things that we're doing and understanding why it is that we're doing what we're doing. It's doing things intentionally and not, and it's like Andrea said, it's coming out of that routine. It's not doing things haphazardly, but doing them intentionally. So if I'm getting up to eat breakfast, it is, what am I going to have for breakfast this morning? And why am I going to have that? Is it that I'm choosing to be healthy and I'm going to eat oatmeal and fruit or whatever it is? Or is it that I want to feel good and so I'm going to eat bacon and eggs? You know what I mean? Or whatever. Chocolate chip, pancakes. And after that, what does my day look like? Right? And what is it that I'm trying to accomplish today? And at the end of the day, I really believe that everybody should take the time to reflect on what did I do today? What did I accomplish today? What did I accomplish? Is it something that I should have done? And so when am I going to actually get it done? It's about really setting intentions and about thinking about the things that we're doing and not just doing things out of routine and habit. That's what mindfulness is.
What's the name of that? There's a book some time ago when we came upon this thing about gratitude. I can't remember the name of the book, where she asks that every day you write down, was it 10 things that you're grateful for? Even if you kept on writing the same things every day. I can't remember the name of it. It was so popular at the time. Everybody was doing it and doing their vision boards and all of this. That's how this whole thing started. That's how it became so popular.
The
There's
secret?
the secret.
Yes.
The secret started this whole thing, and she had this thing about gratitude. I remember going
Yes,
through it
gratitude's a
myself.
big thing in that.
Yes, I still have the book where I wrote out in detail exactly what I wanted. And I still have that notebook on my desk in my room. And ever so often, I will take out that book and I will go and I will write down the things that I'm grateful for. You know, about a week ago, I wrote down, I'm grateful for the sound of my friends' voices, because I was somebody who, when it's your birthday, I hate sending a text. I like to phone you and say happy birthday and sing for you, and it's just special for me. And I realize that in this time with young persons, they're not used to that in a relationship. So I think at this time when we're at home with our families and our, or even ourselves, is a time for us to think about, what do I want in relationships? Who do I want in my life? And for the people who are in my life, what do they bring to my life and what do I bring to theirs?
Yeah,
And
and
is
even
it,
like
is
the
it
good
what
things
I
that come
want?
to your life, do they even know? Because like there's some people who are ridiculously important to us, like our existence without them we cannot imagine. But do we even stop to tell them how important they are to us? How the call that they give when we look forward to that morning call. So my mother was just video calling me because she has discovered video calling. And, and it's so funny that now, in the day, like you're in the middle of a Zoom call or something, and there is mommy, and she always have the phone like right up to her face like that. Here, no, you're busy. And it's even tearing me up now, thinking how much I look forward to that. But I don't know if I stop to tell her that as much as you disturb me, like every hour and the hour, because sometimes she'll call me and she said that that you must boil some orange peel for the COVID. Go boil some orange. I said, Mommy, you know,
Yeah.
but as you're saying that, I'm saying, wow, I stopped to say, Mommy, I really appreciate just that you think of these abstract things in the day that crack me up, and I could not imagine my existence without it.
Well, I think out of this group
Go
thing
cry,
to do,
Rochelle.
group thing
You know,
tonight, that's something that we can set as an intention for everybody who is participating. Let us sit down and think about the persons who are important to us and why, and let's actually communicate it. I can start. When I met you ladies, when I came to Naomi's and sat down that night and we chatted for hours, that was like, and I know I said it to you at the time, that I always meet the most amazing people. It's something I always say, and I had such a blast. When we looked at the clock and saw the
Yes.
time, we were like, what? And Catherine was like, we never meet for so long. But it was so lovely. Catherine wasn't there, and it was because of her that the meeting happened. But it was such an amazing evening, and it
Yes.
started a relationship that has blossomed, even
Yeah.
though we haven't seen each other.
Yes.
And I have very special memories about things like that. I'm very sentimental, so I'll tell people things like that. I love talking to you guys, I
Oh,
love
Andrew.
interacting with you guys. Catherine, I interact with Catherine more because I'll send her stuff, and like last week, was it last week I sent you this talk with this girl Zuboff, this
Yes.
woman from the US, and Bev Skeggs from the UK about um, um, the capitalism, how they're capitalizing on our data. You know, it's just it's shocking the things that I'll come across.
yeah,
But I love it, and I love that you guys are curious enough that I have you to share with. For
Yes.
me, that's very special. I don't take things like that for granted. So interactions with persons in our lives. Let us from this night sit down and intentionally write out who is in our lives, what they mean to us, and let's actually share it. let's take the occasion to share it, because we never know. For some of us, at the end of this, hopefully we don't get as bad as everybody else. But what this COVID has shown is that when you have an opportunity to say that, hey, I love you, you're special to me, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So now is the time, and we talk about tribe a lot in Emerge, and I think now is really a good time to either reach out to your tribe or to create one,
Yes.
because for the first time ever, we are all as a world experiencing the same thing at
Exactly.
the same time,
It's
and
like I've
so we're all
always had a dream
feeling
of this.
similar feelings right now.
Yeah. Generations of Jamaican people. That name has been in my head for years, that I've wanted to create this thing, generations of Jamaican people. We can start it tonight based on just this talk.
Yeah.
And people can, what I mean, Naomi, you're great at writing, or Rush. People can send us a picture that means something and a story. And we can start that storyboard. Generations of Jamaican people, no matter where they are in the diaspora, let's do this. We
Yeah.
are we are a, we are, as Jamaicans, a phenomenal country. We're good at anything we determine that we want to do. Anything. Jamaicans, bobsled. I mean, we don't have a drop of snow here, and we're good at bobsled.
Yeah, we in everything.
We're in everything.
On Sunday.
Let's take this to celebrate being Jamaican, because usually it's only when we're excelling at something, like when Bo did what he did, that we're proud to be Jamaicans, but when we're not home.
Yeah.
So no, we are home and we're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah. On Sunday, we had a family Zoom. So it's so funny. It take COVID for us to do a family Zoom. So we have a very active WhatsApp group and thing. So with the Zoom. So my grandmother, who is in New York with my mother, was on the Zoom. So when my grandmother come on, so she kind of set her, say, "Shall have on her hat, Here, watch my grandchildren them." And it was so amazing. So I actually did a quiz on it, because some of my younger cousins wouldn't have known my grandfather, who is my grandmother's husband and is our patriarch. And they were so in awe of the stories of my grandfather. There are things that they didn't know, and there are a couple of things that I didn't know that came out. And I'm the family historian. But I just watching their awe. And then my grandmother, who is a very proper lady, here, anybody can hear with business.
Oh, grandma is funny.
So it's so
Tell her yes. The yes government is hearing everything.
my mother said, "Hey, mom, the whole of Jamaica hear you." But the thing about it is just thinking that in what is a disaster, it is actually pulling us closer together. And how we come out on the other side of this, and what we take from this, can be so absolutely special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
We're very resilient people.
Yeah.
Extremely resilient as Jamaicans. And I think if we would just take the time to think back to how we used to be a couple years ago, how supportive we were as friends, not tearing down each other, but actually there for each other, what it is that makes us Jamaicans and make us unique. If we can get back to that, we are going to come through this with flying colors.
Flying colors.
And much better at it, friends, actual friends, that, and using the term in its full meaning.
Yeah.
So
if some people don't have friends though, so now is the time, I think, to make some friends.
Yeah.
Had made a comment that now is the perfect time.
Yeah.
To find new people and to engage with new people. I mean, especially in a digital age that we're in. Today I got an email from somebody I know that a women's group, I guess, started an email trail where you send one email to one woman with a word of encouragement. and then you blind copy like 20 others. But your responsibility is only to send it to one. And so each person sends a word of encouragement to strangers, to just people that you've never met before. But it's something that when anybody gets it, regardless of whether they know you or not, it's going to add value to their day.
Yeah.
You know, um, I think that we need to also be intentional about just being kinder, being more kind to people and extending more love to people. Because in a time like this, I mean, I was watching the news yesterday and we're watching the people in the market, and the level of nonchalance and, for want of a better word, ignorance that was displayed. It's like these people don't care about themselves. And so maybe we need to show them that we care enough about them that we're going to find a solution for them, right? I mean, I don't expect that the government can feed everybody. And the reality is that there are lots of people in our country that live day to day that can only afford to buy food for today. But if we're thinking about the safety of everybody, then each of us has to try our best to do our part, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at the supermarkets now, progressive supermarkets for the most part have boxes where they're collecting food to give the food packages to people. Food for the poor right now is collecting food to provide food packages for people. And so you find that a lot of the members of parliament and councillors and everybody in the community is trying to rally together, regardless of what side of the fence they're sitting on, for the
Mm-hmm.
public good. And so if we spend a little bit of our time focusing on that side of it and focusing on other people, it will help us to manage our anxiety better. Because
Yeah.
I find that when you do more for other people and take the attention off of yourself, you realize that there's so much more that, so you feel so much better, and you lose that sense of anxiety that you would have had in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Keisha is asking Andrea if you could recommend um, one thing to protect our psychological and mental health during this time. What would it
What you said just before was, is it kindness? Do something for somebody else. If you
Yeah.
know of an old person who, we have this limit on who should be out on the road. So if you know somebody who falls within that age limit, who lives close to you, whether it is a parent of a friend, or somebody, their family isn't around, but this person, reach out, call and say, I know you can't come out. Do you need anything? I could pick it up for you. You just get it for them and drop it to them. You know, or maybe just calling to have a conversation with them. Maybe nobody has called their phone for days.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, who don't have any connection. Think about it. Do I know anybody that falls within this category? Let me call this person and talk to them. Because as Rush is saying, you might learn something that you didn't know. Because for the
Yes.
first time, we're able to listen. So I think that one act of kindness per day could actually do it for us.
One act of kindness per day. Love
One
that.
intentional act of kindness,
Yes.
whether it is just saying a kind word to somebody, or if you know somebody in the health services, whether a doctor, a nurse, or something. You don't even have to be somebody that you know personally, but say the person and you live in the same building, and you're going out and you know this person has been at work for how many hours. Buy them something, leave it by their door with a note. We appreciate what you do. We just wanted you to know. You don't have to put your name, it can be anonymous, but that would make you feel so good. A
Yes.
security guard somewhere that that no matter what, the security guards have to be out working, because security, police, what have you, you pass in a checkpoint or something, buy a couple bottles of water or juice or something, and just drop it off. They've been there all day. They don't have a chance to leave, their families are at home. Just give them something. Just say thank you. We appreciate what you do.
I think even something as simple as for us still going to the supermarket, when you go to the supermarket, tip heavy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because those guys, they don't need to
They're
be
there
there,
all day.
right?
Yeah.
And they're there all day helping you get your stuff in the car.
And address them by name. If they have a name
Absolutely.
tag,
I
Oh,
always
address
ask, I
them
always
by
ask,
name.
what's your name?
Yes.
Yes. Acknowledge them.
Yeah,
That
Because
man.
there's
makes a
nothing
big
sweet like the
difference.
sound of your name.
Yes.
Yeah.
address them by name. So it takes just little things
Little
that make
gestures.
you feel better.
Yes.
So intentional kindness, I think, should be our takeaway. We're gonna
Intentional
look for opportunities to be intentionally kind to persons. We don't have to know them. We're just gonna do it.
I love that.
Love that. Well, Andrea, I think on that note, I mean, that was really, really, really amazing. I feel like we might have to do a part 2. Um, but we are so grateful that you were able to take some time. I mean, we all have time now, but yes and no, because we're at home and things are happening at home too. But we really appreciate the fact that you took the time to share some of your wisdom and your amazing words and your knowledge with our audience. I mean, I'm seeing already the feedback here. People are saying, love the ideas. Awesome. Yes, thank you. I'm sure we'll get a lot more feedback even when this is replayed, but we really appreciate you just taking the time to share with us. I think it has been really awesome. I mean, I took my notes. As I said, I'm always writing things down.
Yeah.
So I took notes as well. But just that last note about intentional acts of kindness. One intentional act of kindness. If everyone in Jamaica could do one intentional act of kindness every day, what a difference that would make.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Andrea.
Always.
All right.
We're a family.
Girls, I don't know how this works. Do we now bump Andrea off and do our wrap up, or how does it? So we're new to this, guys, so bear with us, please. But I'm sure we're gonna do our little wrap up now. But thanks again, Andrea, so much.
You're welcome.
I'm
Anytime.
sure we're gonna. I'm talking like it's our TV show. I'm sure we're gonna have you back on the show another time.
Yeah.
But thank you, Andrea.
Bye,
We love
guys.
you. Continue sending us those awesome messages in our group.
Okay, bye.
And if we get any additional questions off air, we'll definitely share them with you as well. Yeah, we're back, Rochelle.
Wait, no, I'm just trying to figure out how to turn this something.
Oh, because now it's 3 of us that kind of screw up about it a bit.
Yes.
You look fine, Rosh. You look.
This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis with the two of them.
No, let me tell you what happened. Today, I did look like a mukut. My head did look bad. So before the live, you see, because my live audience is so important to me, I bathe in my bath and body shower gel. I lotion my body. I put a little powder on my face and I curl my hair. Yeah, because I know that's important to me.
Yeah, I took a shower right before as well. I felt like I needed to dress up. And I'm on a dress,
of course.
and I'm on lipstick. It makes me feel like I'm doing something.
Catherine, it's because you have good hair. Good hair people have a way wearing a shower and leave it. My hair
is called wet and curl, Rochelle. Wet and curl.
Yeah,
when mine old wet, it just wet.
Yeah, mine actually. Yeah, it's.
Let me.
Guys, what do you think about our session with Andrea? This is our wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Yap is here. Hi, Dr. Yap. She says she loves the distant connectivity.
Did anybody hear what I just said, or no?
What was that?
You're not being mindful. You're not listening.
Sorry,
not channeling the information. That's what Andrea just said. I said, guys, what are your thoughts on our session with Andrea?
Oh, you
were very good, miss. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, Kemoy. Kemoy said it was very insightful.
Thanks, Kemoy and Derek. So, okay, guys, seriously though,
I thought it was.
What were your key takeaways from this session?
I think for me, the greatest takeaway was that it's the simple things. A lot of us think of our mental space and mindfulness and anxiety to be this big, overwhelming thing, when to rectify it is small, simple steps. And I think that is what for me hit home. That it's not big things; it's little intentional things that actually help to shift the way that we think, to shift the way that we feel, and it's just being intentional about actively doing those things to bring us down to where we need to be.
And when Andrea talked about, so two things that actually remembered that I needed to read this book again. And I know that was divine intervention because I need it now. But when Andrea talked about chasing the thoughts in your head,
Yeah.
that was the first time like I understood that that's the story of most of our lives, certainly the story of my life. So you start this conversation in your head and you take it through the day. So you start out the day and you're like, I think I've put on weight. These pants look tight on me. For the entire day you're going through, they're looking at me because the pants is too tight. Oh my God. This, you see, that's why they made that comment, because I'm fat. And then you keep going and going and going, and you miss like amazing things. You miss comments that people make complimenting you. You miss acts of kindness towards you, and you miss acts of kindness that you can carry out because you're so overwhelmed with this thought that you're chasing. And so even as I am sitting down tomorrow in my meditation, kind of understanding what it is that's happening in my head and how I chase down a thought is so, you know, even with COVID now, as the different things are coming in, and you know, some of us have like constant, like we have some groups that are constantly sending us updates on it. And then we start thinking like the doors in our house, nobody coming at your house, you know, you haven't left your house.
It's too much.
Nobody will come in and there's COVID on your door. The COVID is standing outside your door, knocking and waiting to burst in on you. And then you start talking yourself into that, and you're missing this opportunity that you have. So it's like we have to let the thought go.
Yes.
Run it.
Yep.
Yeah. So some of my takeaways I loved when she said change comes when you set the intention and carry out the action.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I thought that was great. I'm definitely gonna check out this frequency music.
Yes.
Because I'm one of those people that sometimes I need that, what you call white noise, to focus.
Yeah.
So there are times when I need just quiet and I can just work, but there are times when I will literally sit down with the TV on. I'm not watching it, you know, but it's like, I don't know if it's just the background noise that helps me to just focus.
Yeah.
I'm going to try out this frequency music and see how that works.
So with when Andrea was talking about frequency music, because sometimes my head runs away with thoughts, and she's like, every culture has their music, and I was like, I wonder what ours is. And do you know what has been playing in my head? Because you know, guys, I'm like a secret DJ.
I'm afraid.
Your body good. You know that Shabba song? Girl, your body good. And I was like, it kind of have a little white noise.
Let us just share with you that every time we have an emerge meeting, we leave with a song that Rochelle has chosen for the night, because she sings it and dances to it.
And she finds the YouTube video and plays it as well.
So
Shardine made a great comment. Shardine said she joined late, but my takeaway was that it was a great way to help us mentally and psychologically to focus on our opportunities to help and be kind and show love to others. It will uplift us and set us free.
Yeah, is on. Hi.
Yes, it's on. Yes, so we can give I don't know if it was on earlier. Thank you, Theo.
I said that we learn how to control the way we her takeaway is that we control how we interpret things. We're in control of how we assign meaning to different things. And it's important to seek opportunities during this time as well.
Yeah. And then something that Andrea said in the beginning, 2 questions she said. She said to write down the people that are important to us and why.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to think about what has changed for me in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And also, in addition to writing down things that are important to us and why, more importantly, share it with them.
Yeah. Oh, and Dr. Yap is on, and I have to share something with her. So when I went to her, the first time I went to her, I had a very bad breakout. So I didn't go to work, and I called in. Literally, I called in.
I think I need to see Dr. Yap.
I called in and told him I couldn't come in because I.
Sorry, Rush.
No, you're cute, girl. You know, you should have seen my face.
Listen, I don't know if it's COVID or what, but I don't know if it's stress, but the whole it's makeup I have on right now, but
you're distracted there.
I'm sorry, but Dr. Yap is here, so maybe she can help me. I'm covered in these tiny
Stop
little.
touching your face.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She
everywhere.
was like, listen. She's like, as you're talking to me, you're always touching your face. She said, let me tell you something. When people are hailing you up, tell them, not the face. Never the face. And she's like, every time you reach for your face, and it has helped me through COVID. Leave the face, never the face.
Never the
Learn
face.
that lesson tonight, Naomi. Never the face. You cannot say face.
Okay, well I'll start with that then, because God knows these bumps are killing me.
Yes. She said, pray for our body that it will be good after the quarantine. Listen, a quarantine tip, and I think I said it last week, or maybe it was to Naomi that I said it. I said, I find that I've been eating constantly in the days. All day long, I'm eating something. Thank God I've had the presence of mind, Keisha, mindfulness. I've had the presence of mind to not buy junk food because I will eat it. So what I buy instead of the junk food is watermelon, pineapple, mango, orange, and that is what I eat all day long because I will eat the Oreos if I buy it.
Well, I have a child in here, so I can't help myself sometimes.
Catherine,
I don't have an excuse. I just can't help myself. But I'm going to stop today.
I'm going to try. Guys, this is not juice in this glass either. This was a sorrel bear. I'm going to have it. I can't. I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
It was a whole bottle. It was a whole bottle.
Anyway, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you so much for our live this week.
We're so funny.
We are going to be having some conversations about our money because it is so important during this time. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about the stock market. A lot of people have been talking about what to do. But I think that we need to kind of just drill down and really have an understanding of what, a lot of us are panicking about our savings. A lot of us are panicking about our bills. A lot of us
have to get back to the basics.
Yeah.
Exactly. So next week we're going to be talking about our money. Next week, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So come with your questions because it's going to be a very interactive session, especially now that we see how this thing works and we can.
Yeah, this is so awesome, and we can screen share. That means that we can show the budget templates and all these things.
Exactly.
We're going to practice before though.
Right. So we're focusing on next week, Wednesday. Nice. Stop. I told you people can see us.
I'm sorry.
So guys, one intentional act of kindness. One, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to gift somebody a house. Just one intentional act of kindness.
And sometimes it's just a smile, Sometimes it's just a smile, like just being pleasant to people.
Looking at somebody's when you go into the supermarket. And when you go into the supermarket and you're busy like spraying down the whole place, lift your head up, look at the cashier that's there working and tell her thank you and call her by name.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also make a note of the people who are critically important. They're your lifeline, and intentionally stop to pick up the phone. Don't WhatsApp them. Pick up the phone, call them, and let them know what they mean to you.
Well, Kevin just said he shared with several people why he appreciates them, and it was bare teeth and smile. And he even gave them some sorbet. How he gave them the sorbet? That's what I want to know. That don't sound like social distancing, Kevin.
Kevin,
great.
I noticed you still don't comment about my ice cream. I don't understand you.
Great internal uplifting exercise by Andrea. Big up yourself, Kathy. How I don't understand the sorbet sharing.
I want a sorbet.
No, you want him ice cream, body.
What we have to do?
I think Kevin makes it.
Yes, he makes it. Kevin, what's your ice cream name again? Tell us.
And how do we get some?
Yeah, for our
Oh.
time of social distancing.
Kevin, you better can deliver the ice cream.
Yeah,
I would like,
remember we're supporting small business.
Right. I would like some, please.
Ice cream.
To pay, not for free. So let's be very clear. I would like to pay for your ice cream.
He said he heard them from far.
And Janice, not Janice, Janice needs some as well, and she's in Montego Bay.
Then we have to wait on that one. The quarantine is for Kingston. The quarantine.
Okay, it's called Candy's Delights. So Kevin, we can find you on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay.
Candy's
So why Catherine told you about Candy's Delight before, Rochelle, because she's acting like we knew about it before. Okay, I just wanted to be very clear
You
that
had
it was just me.
well.
So we will reach out to Candy's Delights directly. Thanks, Kathy.
Bailey's ice cream, the rum and raisin ice cream, the chocolate ice cream.
Bailey's ice cream.
Oh my gosh. And he does seasonal flavors too. So likewise, mango time, Kevin.
Catherine, we're over you. We're over you.
Sorrel bear for you. Now he may make a sorrel bear sorbet or a melon bear sorbet for you.
Ooh, yes. That sounds awesome.
There is more at Candy's Delights.
I'm gonna follow them.
I'm gonna follow you right now. Thanks so much, Kevin. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It has been.
And if there, just before we wrap up, just because Kevin did that, if there are any other small businesses, just post something in the comments so we know who you are.
Yes, please.
So that our tribe can follow you and support your business in this time. I'm at the PR Chick.
I'm at Redefine Business Services.
Did you guys see that my name actually says at the PR Chick? I did that instead of putting my actual name.
Okay, next week we're gonna turn up too. Candles next week. Sure.
Anyway, as I clutch my pearls, guys, though, one of the things I would love us to wrap up with, and Kathy, sorry to put you on the spot, but for those of us who wanted us join us in a prayer, as we just cover everybody as we go out into our spaces and just try to more than cope, but to thrive during this time.
Oh, she put in the spot. You're gonna pray, right?
No, you are.
Come on, pregnant with possibilities and promise. Come, Catherine. Purpose.
Expect
all the P's. Pregnant with all the P's.
I expect the two of you to post your pregnant with purpose videos by tomorrow. All right. So, Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the ability to be here. We thank you for the seeds that you've planted in all of us that you are going to birth in this season, because you're giving us all the opportunity to reflect, to redirect, to just, go through a period of incubation, to birth so many amazing things out of this season. We thank you, Father God, for this tribe that you've created. We thank you for this ability to share. We thank you for this new way to connect. We thank you for all of the wisdom that has been imparted on us tonight. We thank you that we're reminded that kindness and love is at the root of everything that we stand for and we live for, and that we need to be more intentional about showing it every day. So we ask, Father, that you just cover us. We ask that you help us to be mindful of everything that we do, to be intentional about our decisions in the food that we eat, in the places that we go, because we should be staying home, in the things that we choose to read, the things that we choose to listen to, the things that we choose to feed ourselves with, Lord God. We ask that you help us to be intentional and mindful about it. Let it be things that pour into us, that uplift us, and that add value to our lives. We ask that you help us in turn to add value to the lives of everybody that we encounter. We ask that you help us to just refocus on the things that matter. Help us to reach out to those that we love and to share with them that we do care and how much we care and why we care. We ask that you cover all our businesses, Lord. We ask that you help us to just be in the right mind as we go through this period of uncertainty, to stay focused on the things that speak life into us, the things that uplift us and build us. So we commit everything to you, and we ask that you just help us to have a peaceful night, a restful night. Help us all to have the best night's sleep that we've ever had to date, because we know that sleep is a way to restore us. Sleep is a way to take away our anxiety and our stress and to refuel us, Father God. So we just commit it to you, and we ask for your covering for those that we love, and just keep us safe in all that we do. These mercies we ask in your name.
Amen.
Amen.
And for those persons who have small businesses, the PSOJ is on every Thursday at 4 o'clock. There's a Facebook Live dealing with different topics affecting small businesses. Tomorrow, we're actually talking to bankers. So we're going to have several banks. We're going to have National Commercial Bank, Bank of Nova Scotia, First Caribbean, and JMMB will be on set, having discussions about small businesses and how you can approach your banks and to get financing during this time. So if you are able tomorrow to join, it's at 4 o'clock on the PSOJ Facebook page live.
There.
Great. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Catherine, you have to